Hi, I'm Gory B Movie.
And I'm Danny Nightmare.
And we're horror addicts, and today we're going to give you our top 20 favorite movies of 2016.
Number 20, man.
A movie where Josh Stewart breaks into a house and ends up having to fight for his own survival? Is this The Collector? No, it's The Neighbor.
Josh Stewart is kind of like the action hero of horror movies. He's always a total badass, and there's always tons of violence and gore.
We loved the fast-paced action of The Neighbor, and it had some surprising twists and brilliant performances.
Number 19.
One of the most surprising movies on this list is I Am Not a Serial Killer. We went into this expecting one kind of movie and got something completely different. It's about a kid who is a sociopath and is afraid that he might become a serial killer. Well, that is until somebody beats him to the punch and starts killing people in his hometown.
I highly enjoyed this mashup of genres. Christopher Lloyd was legendary as always. Max Records did a great job as well.
If you're fascinated by serial killers like we are, this is one you definitely want to check out.
Number 18.
2016 was a big year for home invasion films, and one of the better ones was Intruders. Intruders is about a group of robbers that break into an agoraphobic's house, and like Don't Breathe, this one's got a twist in it that you don't want to miss.
Despite the present danger that these robbers pose on her, I found it very intriguing how she's more afraid to even leave her house than to stay and deal with them.
Yeah, this was a really interesting final girl who was able to show both vulnerability and incredible strength.
Number 17.
If you're looking for a crazy good time, you'll definitely want to check out The Funhouse Massacre. It has horror legends Robert Englund and Clint Howard in it, and it's about a group of crazed maniacs that escape an asylum and then terrorize a local funhouse that's themed after their own crimes.
This is the perfect setting and situation for them to unleash their chaos. And the crazy clown chick, she's gonna go down as one of my favorite makeup-wearing maniacs.
Number 16. Bah.
Certainly one of the most atmospheric films of 2016 was Robert Eager's The Witch. This dark folktale about a 1630s family banished from their village and forced to live out in the woods where an evil supernatural force lurks delivered genuine chills and authentic performances.
I highly enjoyed the horrific imagery, and of course, Black Phillip, because he's so metal.
Live deliciously.
Number 15.
One of the few movies on this list that actually scared me, 10 Cloverfield Lane. John Goodman's performance alone, I mean, he hit that out of the park. Forget the Babe.
Oh, that cute little piggy?
No, the Babe Ruth movie he did.
Oh.
But this is his performance that really swung for the fences, if you ask me. Scared the shit out of me. I mean, imagine being stuck in a bunker with that man.
Ugh. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead kicked some serious ass.
Number 14.
I was a bit surprised by this next film, The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I didn't expect much from it, but it really hit a nerve.
And that chick was naked like the whole movie.
Yeah, which nerve did you think I was talking about?
I will say this movie had some great tension in it, and I really enjoyed the characters. The relationship between the father and son really invested me in this story.
It seemed very organic. And I should know, my best friend Ronnie Angel, his dad's a mortician, so Ronnie grew up in a funeral home, and I've seen this relationship before firsthand.
The two of them work as coroners, and they're delivered the body of a young woman that doesn't have a mark on her. They need to figure out how she died before morning, if they make it that long.
Throughout this movie, the feeling of dread just bears down on your shoulders, and it doesn't stop until the end.
Number 13.
Now, if the nudity in the last film didn't quite do it for you, you might like our next pick. It smells like...
Is it the Greasy Strangler?
It smells like...
Tell me what it is.
It's...
Tell me what the next number is.
The Greasy Strangler.
I said that.
Bullshit artist! This had to have been the most fun I had watching a movie all year round. This is the most quotable and probably the most disgusting movie on the list.
It's not gonna be for those with weak stomachs.
But hey, if you like grease and you like dongs, this movie's for you.
It's about a serial killer who likes to strangle people while covered in grease.
The title says it all.
Like our last movie, this is all about a father and son relationship. However, it's not quite as charming, it's a little more sour and very greasy.
I thought it was heartworming.
Yeah, until the hootie tootie disco cutie tries to divide them.
Hootie tootie disco cutie, hootie tootie disco cutie.
cutie.
So check it out, and if you're gonna get hot dogs, be sure to give that bad boy a full dunk.
Number 12.
I Like You.
This next film on the list was my most anticipated because I've been wanting this film for years now.
It's the feature film based on our favorite segment from VHS, Siren.
Like the short film, it's about a bunch of guys out looking for a great time. However, things don't go according to plan.
They meet the titular Siren, and she brings a whole new meaning to the term getting a little tail. Thanks, Lee.
You'll be here all night.
Number 11!
Not that 11. Though if it was a film, it would have made the list. This next film caught us off guard. We weren't expecting a whole lot from Emily. It creeped us out.
Yeah, it really touched on a lot of the fears you have as children. Fear of sexuality, fear of driving a car, fear of being left alone with a crazy person.
It also touched on the fears of being a parent and who you trust leaving your children alone with.
Yeah, the character of Emily was complicated, dark, and deeply disturbed. But while she wasn't the best babysitter, she was a fantastic villain, and her descent into madness made for an exciting film.
Number 10.
We loved the creepy kids and hellions, and the nightmarish atmosphere of this dark film made it one of our favorite films of the year.
I was especially fond of Buckethead.
This one's about a teenage girl that finds out that she's pregnant on Halloween night. She's not sure she wants to keep the baby, but she has bigger problems when some creepy trick-or-treaters show up and they want blood for baby.
I don't know, they might get offended. It does have little kids giving head.
Too much?
We apologize for nothing.
Number 9.
We love horror films from all around the world.
And South Korea really brought their A game this year with The Wailing.
Let's just say it's about a horrific epidemic that strikes a small South Korean village.
And when a young girl is struck down, her dopey dad stops at nothing to save her, even going so far as to enlist the help of the local shaman. This movie is funny and touching and scary as all hell.
Number 8. Meow.
So every year we get a shit ton of shark horror movies. But The Shallows was one that was actually good.
Yeah, don't let that title fool you. There's actually some depth to this film.
The plot of this one's pretty simple. Surfer goes out into the water, Surfer gets attacked by a shark, and is stranded on a buoy while the shark proceeds to stalk her for the remainder of the film.
Blake Lively might not have had a whole lot to say in this film, but her performance hit you like a tidal wave and really dragged you under.
Don't wear Lee out, we need him for the finale. The Shallows is one of those rare films that uses CGI and uses it well. The shark looks fantastic, and this movie is genuinely terrifying.
Sometimes CGI is better than practical. I mean, just look at that shark in Jaws Revenge.
Number 7. America.
As terrifying as the real election was of 2016, step it up even more, we have Purge election year.
Purge election was certainly more enjoyable than the real election, and honestly, it's my favorite of the franchise so far. Like Purge 2, Purge 3 takes it to the street. We get to see a lot more real people experiencing the purge in the areas where they're hurt the most. Meanwhile, we have a senator who's hoping to stop the purge for good, but in this film, they've removed all the rules that protect politicians. So Frank Grillo needs to make sure that she survives the purge so that she can
make America great again? Her backstory was tragic, but I have to say, I really did like the Killer's Purge playlist. That's a great idea. I'm gonna have to make one of my own.
What would you put on it?
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
Number 666.
I have to say, we're not the biggest found footage fans, but we loved They're Watching. It's set up sort of like one of those home improvement shows where a woman in Eastern Europe is given the task of fixing up this rundown old place. The TV crew comes back a year later and they're impressed with what they find, until the killing starts.
Even though this film was genuinely spooky, it had us laughing out loud the entire time.
Yeah, this one had a really unpredictable script and some really likable characters.
And one hell of a climax.
Number 5. Oh!
The fuck? I don't even know where to begin with this movie. This movie is a head trip. We've got one of the little hobbits from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and he's working in a pet shelter when he decides to kidnap a girl and keep her in a cage for her own good?
Performances were solid all around, and it has an ending that will stick with you for sure.
Number 4. Brains.
Arriving back in the station of South Korea comes a film that gives you all the feels, and I'm talking about Train to Busan.
Train to Busan was one hell of a ride. It had action, humor, scares, and characters that you couldn't help but root for. I can't remember the last time I got up and cheered during a movie, but I found myself doing that quite a few times during this film.
And I found myself shouting at the villain. What a dick.
My favorite character was this working class guy on the train with his pregnant wife. I gotta tell you ladies, when the zombie apocalypse comes, this is the guy you want getting your back.
Number 3.
Now, we already covered this film in a previous review, but we have to say, this was the best time we had at the movie theater in 2016. We're talking about Don't Breathe.
The performances were solid, the tension was real, and I swear, you'll never look at a turkey baster the same way again.
Huge props to Jane Levy. She killed it in this movie, she killed it in Evil Dead Remake, and we're hoping to see her in more horror films.
Yeah, especially if Eddie Alvarez is directing. These two are a great combination.
Number 2.
Now, this next one's an American film, but most countries got it before we did. It wasn't until 2016 that Clown was finally released in the United States on Blu-ray DVD.
And it was well worth the wait.
Yeah, this was by far the scariest clown movie since It.
This film's about a loving dad who just wanted to do something nice for his kid's birthday, then finds himself transforming into this kid-eating clown.
And this movie doesn't just kill kids, it massacres them. Seriously, if you thought Freddy Fazbear made Pizzeria scary, wait till you see the scene in this movie.
I always knew there was something scary lurking under those ball pits. Ugh.
Now for some honorable mentions. Number 1, Walk On!
I don't say this often, but Green Room was a near perfect film. From the script, the direction, the cinematography, and the amazing performances from Patrick Stewart and Anton Yelchin.
The main reason this film was so scary is it felt like a real situation gone bad. It was organic, and nothing about this film seemed Hollywood. These characters seemed like they were in real danger.
This movie is gritty and dark and very green. It's about this punk rock band that plays a skinhead show when they witness a murder and are locked in the green room. From there it becomes a fight for survival, and while this may not sound like a horror film to some, it's the visceral nature of this one that will really get under your skin. So that's our top 20 of 2016. What'd you guys think of our list? Agree, disagree? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to see more lists from Horror Addicts, be sure to hack that thumbs up button. And if you're new here, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.